Fur farms are breeding grounds for dangerous viruses. A study of the Chinese fur industry has shown that animals raised there are loaded with viruses that can be transmitted to humans and potentially be the source of the next pandemic. Scientists have found a total of 125 viruses on the farms, 36 of which are species previously unknown to science. Infectious disease scientists are calling for stricter safety measures on fur farms. These warnings are the result of one of the largest studies of the fur industry in China. The scientists behind the analyses have found a wide range of viruses in fur animals that can infect humans, including previously unknown pathogens. Scientists indicate that these farms may be a bridge between humans and viruses circulating among wild animals and could lead to the next pandemic. The results and description of the research were published in the journal Nature. Newly conducted studies indicate a high risk associated with the trade in animal fur. They show that animals farmed for fur are carriers of viruses that have a high potential to start a pandemic. Farms are a great place for viruses to develop. There are many animals there, often from different species, kept close to each other. Between 2021 and 2024, a research team consisting of scientists from Australia, China, Europe, and the US sequenced genetic material taken from lung and intestine samples of 461 animals, such as minks, foxes, and raccoon dogs, that died of the disease. The samples came from several different provinces in China. The researchers identified 125 viruses, including 36 previously unknown. Among the known ones, many pathogens were found in species that had not previously been known to carry them. For example, the scientists found Japanese encephalitis virus in guinea pigs and norovirus in minks. The authors of the publication considered 36 of the identified viruses to have a high risk of transmission between species. The researchers focused on Asian raccoon dogs, which were traded at the notorious Wuhan market and had previously been linked to the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to Asian raccoon dogs, they also looked closely at red and Arctic foxes and minks. They also analyzed several other species bred for fur, meat, or medicinal purposes, including deer, muskrats, guinea pigs, rabbits and badgers. Of particular concern were the pathogens found in minks. At the beginning of the pandemic, SARS-CoV-2 spread very well on mink farms throughout Europe. Mink farms have also had outbreaks of the highly pathogenic H5N1 avian influenza virus. Several mutation sites of the viruses appeared during mink infections and were then transferred back to humans and caused human-to-human transmission, recalled virologist Yu Bai, co-author of the publication. Minks have been found to be carriers of a bat-specific coronavirus similar to the one that causes Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, better known as MERS, according to a new study. The fact that it jumped from bats to minks has to be a wake-up call, says co-author Edward Holmes, an evolutionary biologist at the University of Sydney. Last year, Holmes was part of a team that reported a link between raccoon dogs sold at a market in Wuhan and the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic. Raccoon dogs, in turn, have been found to be reservoirs for another coronavirus that also causes disease in humans, canine coronavirus 2. In 2021, reports emerged that the pathogen had infected several people in Malaysia. Now, the same virus has been found to infect raccoon dogs sold at markets. Other species tested were carriers of several other viruses known to infect humans. They were found to carry viruses that cause influenza, hepatitis C, Japanese encephalitis, and several that cause diarrhea. Predatory mammals and guinea pigs carried the greatest variety of viruses that could harm humans. The study shows that fur farming poses a public health risk and needs to be more closely regulated and monitored. But the problem is not unique to China. When it comes to mink, Europe is the world's leading producer of mink fur. In 2016, European farms produced 39.05 million mink pelts, while Chinese farms produced 26.16 million. Scientists have long suspected that these fur farms are reservoirs of viruses that can be transmitted to humans. They say that to minimize the risk of another pandemic, the industry should switch to faux fur. Another option is to improve regulation and oversight of the fur trade, which should include implementing measures such as animal quarantines, reducing farm populations and changing rules on cleaning cages, obtaining feed and disposing of waste. They say the entire industry should be closely monitored for emerging diseases.